Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. Hope you guys enjoyed my show on Wednesday. We got another great show for you guys today. We got two segments. We're going to be going over the NHL trade deadline winners and losers just wrapped up at 3 o'clock today. We're also going to go over the NFL's winners and losers over the top free agents. Well, free agency really hasn't started, so we're going to be going over the top 50 free agents in the NFL right now. So let's first up go with the NHL. Now, we had some big winners and we had some big losers. Now, for the NHL trade deadline, for a time of general managers to do some roster tinkering, for those with a Stanley Cup aspiration, that means adding to the current group in order to give the team the best chances at winning it all. For others, the deadline makes a period to sell of expiring assets and gain back draft capital or prospects to build towards their future. Now, we had a little bit of everything. As in the case every year, some clubs absolutely nail the deadline while others leave more to be desired. This year, a number of teams towards the top of the standings beefed up their depth at both forward and defense, including the Golden Knights, Avalanche, and Hurricanes. So who aced the deadline? Who walked away from Friday as a disappointment? Here is a look at the sports news winners and losers for the 2024 NHL trade deadline. Now, here it is. NHL trade 2024 winners and losers. Now, the winner, I would say Vegas Knights are the winners. Now, fitting that the team from the Vegas is constantly willing to go all in, GM Kelly McCrum was aggressive at the deadline yet again, landing the top defenseman in Noah Hangfin, bringing in a solid two-way winger of Anthony Mantha, and then stunning everybody at the last minute by acquiring center Thomas Hertel. The defending Stanley Cup champs added the puck-moving handful to a defensive core that already is stout. The Golden Knights have all of their starting defensemen from their cup run last season, plus now a top four option in Hanfin and Montana. The team is getting bigger, big winger who performs well at a 5-5 and is the midst of the best shooting season to date. Hill was a shocking accusation. The Shark star is signed for another 6 years after 2023-2024, and there were nothing out of the insiders to indicate that San Jose was considering moving him. However, the rich got richer. McKinnon pulled off another wild move, boosting its team's chances at a repeat by bringing in a playmaking center who had produced an elite level with the right line mates. Some have criticized the Golden Knights for abusing long-term injured reserve to skirt the salary cap strategy isn't illegal, however, and all other 31 teams have the opportunity to do the same. McCrimmon deserves credit for using to his disadvantage to continue to take big swings at the deadline. Now, losers are actually my own New York Rangers. The Rangers were in the hunt for Jake Kutsuza, who's trying to pry the Penguins winger away from Pittsburgh to Big Apple. However, GM Chris Drury's offer came up short, and instead of bringing in the talented winger in the Rangers, watched as he went to the Hurricanes. The one team right on the Rangers' heels of the division lead. Was New York's deadline major bust? Not entirely. There were no big splashes for New York like last year's deadline when it landed Vladimir Tarasenko and Patrick Kane. However, the additions of Alexander Wennerberg and Jack Roslovic give some depth options to deploy in the bottom six, and Chad Weddle is an underrated pickup on the blue line from Pittsburgh still. Losing out on the Guedsville sweepstakes stings, but burns even more when you consider what he went, a fellow Metropolitan Division member that very well could use him to overtake the Rangers for first place. Now, winner Colorado Avalanche. Remember 2 years ago when the Avalanche went out and bought out 4 new faces at the 2022 trade deadline. None were blockbuster moves, but the team acquired forwards Arthur Lecon and Andrew Calcone and Nick Sturm, a defenseman John Manson, all who played integral parts of the Colorado winning the Stanley Cup that season. Well, this year's deadline feels awfully very similar, and it probably is. Colorado GM Chris McCarr may not have wowed with any of his acquisitions, but like his predecessor, Joe Sakic, did 2 seasons ago, McFarland went out and improved the team in multiple facets. He brought in a top 6 forward in center Casey Mitterslot, 2 forward depth additions in wingers Yakov Trivin and Brandon Duhaime, and a top 4 defenseman in Sean Walker. So, I mean, that's really good. Now, the losers are the LA Kings. The Kings were dominant to start the year, but a midseason slump resulted in Tom McClain being fired and led to questions about the deadline. While Los Angeles wasn't expected to do major plays this week, GM Rob Blake came up with nothing. It's not the worst thing in the world to stand pat, but however, their Pacific Division rivals all got better. The Canucks landed Ellis Lindholm in late January, and the Golden Knights beefed up with Hedman and Manta, and the Oilers added depth with accusations of Adam Hincroft and Sam Carrick and Troy Stretcher. When you factor in what other Western Conference teams like the Avalanche, Stars, and Jets did, it's hard to not view the Kings' activity as disappointing. Winner are the Carolina Hurricanes. You just said it themselves. Whoever won the Jake Gretzko sweepstakes was going to end up with the winner's section. However, this is more perfect fit that goes on the Hurricanes. It feels like Carolina has been one key piece away from contending for a Stanley Cup over the last few seasons, while Gutzel isn't a superstar level. He's seamlessly fit with the Hurricanes and an exact kind of complementary piece that could put them over the edge. GM Don Waddell has been hesitant in the past, gamble on pure rentals, but the club clearly likes Guedo's fit enough to bring the pending free agent, even if the extension hasn't been worked out. Now, loser Sidney Crosby. There are two sides to every deal. While Gretzko trade was home run for the Hurricanes, it marks a dark time for the Penguins. The trade Gretzko signals that the Rens are not going all in. Pittsburgh is outside of a playoff spot and have been slipping in the standings of late, leaving GM Kyle Dubas no choice but to sell. While the Penguins in general come out the deadline as losers, fans have to feel for Sidney Crosby. The 36-year-old is the midst of one of the greatest seasons of a player of his age, and means nothing. He's likely to miss the playoffs for the second consecutive year for the first time in his NHL 10-year. He won't be playing in the postseason in 2 straight seasons. It's not secret Crosby was not exactly on the board with moving Gretzko, who had been in his line mate for years. Now the Penguins captain is left without his buddy and is looking on an early vacation that spring. This is uncharted territory for the 3-time Stanley Cup champ, who is used in consistently competing for titles. Now, winnering Vladimir Tarasenko to the Panthers. The beauty of a player signing of a 1-year deal with a full no-trade clause is when the deadline rolls around and your team is in contention, the player can dictate where he wants to go. For Tarasenko, it was an easy decision to join the Panthers. With the Senators on the outside looking again, Ottawa moved in the Russian winger to the only place he reportedly wanted to go, which was Florida, and could blame him. He joins a club in first in the NHL, coming off a Stanley Cup final appearance, and is in warm weather climate with no state tax. No state tax. That's a big one. Losers, fans of a deadline day. The 2024 trade deadline already was setting up to be a dud weeks in advance of the actual action. There were only a handful of prominent names, and a few like Elias Lindhoff and Sean Mahan, and were all moved before the deadline week, leaving even less excitement in the days leading up to it. Wednesday delivered a frenzy of deals, including a bunch of guys moving off. As of Friday itself was very meh. I mean, you had Tyler Toffoli, Jason Zucker, a couple big names, but it wasn't so massive. More winners. There's 2 more winners. One was the Dallas Stars. The Stars did not make a single trade during the deadline week, as their major move came the week prior to the frenzy. Dallas went out and landed one of the top defensemen available in the spring. This spring, bringing in the Kresteva in a deal with the Flames. The shot-blocking machine is one of the best defensemen in the game, giving the Stars a boost to its blue line. Now, winner Nick Steeler of Gustav. Okay, so neither of these players were involved in trades, but we're making exceptions here by adding them to a deadline. Winners and losers both signed extensions during deadline week, which was Nick Seeler and Gustav Forsling. Seeler linked a 4-year extension worth a total of $10.8 million with the Flyers. The 30-year-old defenseman carved out a nice role for himself in Philadelphia. For Forsling, the Panthers signed the pending free agent to an 8-year, $46 million contract, which is a key part of the future, and his 5.75 AAV is a steal. So those are the winners and losers for just in players' perspectives and in teams' perspectives, and what the managers did and did not do for their teams. Now, if we move on from that, we're going to be going into the free agency market for the NFL. That's coming around the corner. We got the top 50 free agents of the offseason. One is Chris Jones. I'm just going to let you guys know what these fuckers are going and where I think they should stay or leave. Now, Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs, they get rid of him, they're done. Chris Jones must stay in Kansas City. He's 29 years old. He's 3 years, $84.5 million, 28.1 million. Now, Kirk Cousins is 2. Don't blame him. I think he should stay in Minnesota. I think Minnesota will have their best years with Kirk Cousins. If he leaves, I don't know. I think the best bet is for him to stay. He's 35, 3 years, 118.8 million, 39.6 million. Josh Allen of the Jacksonville Jaguars, defense edge rusher. He's 26. I would hope that the Jaguars try to keep him as much as they can to really hold down the fort there. T. Higgins definitely stays with Cincinnati. Jalen Johnson of the Bears. He's probably going to go. Brian Burns, he's staying in Carolina. They just said that Justin Medebuke staying in Baltimore. Christian Wilkins of Miami. I think Miami should try to keep him. Antonio Winfield, Tampa Bay. A lot of safeties are going, man. Michael Pittman Jr., he's going to stay. He stayed with the Colts. Danielle Hunter, I believe he's staying. I think they should try to keep him. L'Jarius Sneed, I definitely they're keeping Kansas City is keeping L'Jarius Sneed. Mike Evans is staying in Tampa Bay. Leonard Williams of the Seahawks, I think they should try to get him. He's only 29. I know he's a little bit older, but I think they should try to keep him. He's a big man. Kendall Fuller, Washington Commanders cornerback. I would try to get him on that. He's a good Chase Young. I think the 49ers try to keep him. I think Chase Young did some really good things in the Super Bowl. I think they run it back with their same defensive core of last year. Hopefully Greenlaw can make a comeback after that Achilles. So I think Greenlaw, Wagner, Greenlaw, you got Bosa, you got Chase Young, you got Gregory. I think you keep them, and not to mention you have one of the best linebacking cores in the NFL. So I think you definitely try to keep him. Bryce Huff, I think the Jets try to keep him as well. Marquise Brown, the Cardinals, they kind of need wide receivers there. Baker Mayfield, he's staying. I think they should keep Baker Mayfield in Tampa. He did really good. Calvin Ridley should definitely stay in Jacksonville. He did really good for Trevor Lawrence. DJ Ryder, Cincinnati, D tackle. I think they probably going to move off of him. Best bet probably maybe Seattle was a good one. But Cincinnati probably would try to move off of him, if not keep him. Tyron Smith is not coming back for the Cowboys, which sucks. So it's kind of ass. He's not coming back. It's been a long time without this man with him, and now without him, it's going to be tough. Sean Murphy, Bunting, Tennessee Titans. I mean, you never know. It might be a good idea to keep him. But in just general, you got real good individuals here that is on the free agency market. Odowuze, he's ass. Saquon, I think Saquon should come to Dallas. That would be fantastic. Josh Jacobs, I think he maybe takes his ties to maybe Baltimore, maybe a swap, go to the Raiders. I don't know how that's going to go out. Derrick Henry, I think Dallas should try to sign Derrick Henry as well. I might see him maybe going to Baltimore. That would be nice. Austin Eckler, he's a little older. Maybe Tennessee, probably going to go to a contender. Maybe Jacksonville got ETN, maybe as a backup. Who knows? Patrick Queen, he's a big man. And for him to be off a team right there, I think Patrick Queen should try to go either someone else. I think Baltimore should try to keep him. Gabe Davis, he's okay. He's leaving Buffalo. He could go to maybe like the Bears or something to help out DJ Moore. Jacoby Brissett, he's good. He should definitely stay in Washington to back up whoever's going to be the quarterback for them. Zadarius Smith of the Cleveland Browns, I think they should keep him. Jonathan Greenard of the Houston Texans, I think the Houston Texans should keep him. Run it back with the same team from next year. And then you're going to have Tank Dell healthy and ready to roll. going to be nice. Levante David. I think the Buccaneers definitely keep Levante David even at the year of 33. I think they definitely try to keep him. Kenny Moore the second of the Colts. Probably let him go. Probably go to another maybe a Titans. I can see them getting Kenny Moore the second. Robert Hunt. I think he stays in Miami. Stephon Gilmore. I want Dallas to pick them up again. You better keep him. Xavier McKinney, he's gone from the Giants. A lot of safeties went, bro. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but a lot of these safeties and cornerbacks are leaving these teams. Xavier McKinney is a dog. I could see him anywhere. I could see him in Seattle. They just let go of Jamal Adams. I would definitely see if Seattle will pick up Xavier McKinney. Young, savvy, wants to get at it. I would definitely have him keep him. Dalton Schultz is staying with Houston. Hunter Henry, I think the Patriots try to keep him. At least help somebody who comes there as a quarterback, a rookie, at least have a bona fide tight end, someone that can catch the ball. Josh Usi, edge for the Patriots. I think the Patriots need as much help as they can get on the defense and offensive end. But again, at the same time, who knows? But definitely Xavier McKinney, a lot of Justin Simmons is gone. You got a lot of these guys that are just gone. And it's very weird to have like these safeties that now people just really don't give a shit about. It's nuts. They don't give a shit about the safety position anymore. Just like the running back position. The running back safety positions, they're going all down the tubes. No one's really giving a shit about one. No one's really giving a shit about the other. It's just ridiculous. When if you actually watch football, the safety position is key because that's how you keep from the wide receivers to go crazy. I think there's a definite difference. But I just said Hunter Henry is remaining in New England for the new era. The Patriots and the veteran tight end agreed to a 3-year deal. CBS Sports HQ senior NFL insider Josina Anderson confirms the 29-year-old was about to become a free agent next week, but instead will be sticking around. Further details of the deal have not been released. Henry began his career playing for the Chargers from 2016 to 2020. Henry joined the Patriots in 2021, signing a 3-year, $37.5 million contract in New England, racked up 133 receptions for 1,531 yards and 17 touchdowns in 48 games. He missed only 3 games during that time. That is a bona fide tight end that you can rely on. Definitely keep him for whoever, if it's Mac Jones or anybody that's going to be at the quarterback for that team. You definitely got to keep him. He's a bona fide guy. Steelers are pulling the plug on Patrick Peterson experiment. The Steelers are releasing the veteran quarterback. NFL Network insider Tom Blazeri reported Friday. Per the source informed of the decision, ESPN first reported the news. The move comes as a little surprise with the 33-year-old corner set to count $9.775 million against the salary cap. The release says picks were $6.85 million on the cap with $2.925 million in dead money. So there goes Patrick Peterson, another cornerback off the chains. Now, with just in general, just the reactions behind it are a little weird, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, watch football and understand what the safety position does. Without the safety, the quarterback is so easily able to throw the ball over the top of these cornerbacks. It's ridiculous. The quarterbacks nowadays can do everything. Caleb Williams coming out can make every throw. Daniels can run, can throw on the run. Yeah, you have C.J. Stroud in there. Joe Burrow still. Patrick Mahomes. Look at all the great quarterbacks in the NFL or the rookies that are coming in. They all can make these crazy throws. The top of the top can make these crazy throws. Aaron Rodgers still can do it. Tom Brady, before he retired, can do it. Russell Wilson can still do it. I don't care what anybody says or whatever. Russell Wilson to the Steelers will be a good fit for reasons why is because he's a veteran quarterback. They have the talent. They have the running game. They have the wide receivers. They have the fucking defense. They got to shore up a little bit of the offensive line. They could do that in the draft, and then they're good. They are good. I'm telling you, Russell Wilson is a good fit. Yes, what? You're going to go back into the draft. I know a lot of people in college and all this thing and tell me, oh, no, go back into the draft. And what? Get who? You're gonna have to develop the guy. There's only a certain few, and they're the top 2, and the Steelers are not there, where it can get a quarterback that is ready. We thought Bryce Young was gonna be ready. Look what he's in Carolina. He sucks. That's just because they suck as a team. The Steelers don't suck. They just need the right quarterback. And I think if you pull in a veteran quarterback with George Pickens and all these guys at the wide receiver position that they have that are good wide receivers. And future Pickens could be a future monster dude in the NFL. He's already proven it. You got Najee Harris and you got Warren in the backfield. Then you have the defense of T.J. Watt, Marcus Patrick. You got all these monsters. That will be perfect situation for Russell Wilson. It would be the Ben Roethlisberger, but Russell Wilson still is a little bit more in the tank than Ben did in his later years. Can still run the ball, can still make those accurate throws and whatever. When Ben left, it looked like Ben couldn't play anymore. Just Eli was the same thing a little bit. He still was able to do a little bit better, but Ben was at the end of his career. Tom Brady just walked out because he was just not worrying about this bullshit anymore. But he was playing at a level that wasn't as crazy as it was the year before that. He was having a pretty ass year, but it's still, barring all that, he was still consistent with everything. He was just having low on different of the categories, statistic categories that he had that year, but the year after before he retired. But in the grand scheme of things, the safety position is vital. The cornerback position is vital. And the running back position is vital. I don't care about the passing game. The running back position is vital. You're not going to drop back 50 times and throw the ball. Your quarterback is either going to die because his arm's going to fall off, or he's going to get sacked so many times that he's not going to want to play football anymore. So either way, it doesn't pan out for you guys. It doesn't pan out for anybody. So we got to fix that. Running backs matter. They do. Yes, they get hurt. They don't last long, but they matter. Look how Christian McCaffrey mattered for the San Francisco 49ers. Look how Saquon mattered for the Giants. Look how Josh Jacobs mattered for the Raiders. Look how Tony Pollard and Austin Eckler mattered for the Chargers and the Cowboys. Look how Derrick Henry mattered for the Titans. Look how cornerbacks, look how safeties mattered. You take them out. It's easy for these quarterbacks nowadays to just throw it over the top. It's so easy for them. It's also easy for these running backs. But now as they get older, it's not as easy. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, here on our YouTube show on the Fire Sports Pod. That's a little bit synopsis of what I think of the safety position, the cornerback position, and the running back position, and why we need to reevaluate what we think of these positions and how good they are, because they actually are very reliable in these situations. But other than that, guys, have a great rest of your Friday afternoon. I will catch you guys on Monday for Recap Monday back on our YouTube show. If not, catch me, guys. We're gonna be going on live probably tonight to go over that Bucks and Lakers game. So stay tuned to that. We're going to be going on TikTok Live as well as probably YouTube Live as well. So you guys should definitely check that out on the Fire Sports Pod. I'll catch you guys later. Have a great rest of the weekend, like I said. And whoever's in college at Montclair State University, have a great spring break. Peace, guys.
Let's go, Lakers.